You have been working in silence for months. No validation. No applause. No one asking how you are doing. And somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers, maybe you are wasting your time. Maybe no one will ever notice. Maybe the sacrifice is pointless. But here is what nobody tells you about silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is the laboratory where champions are built. The world rewards the loud, but it fears the silent. Most people never realize this. The moment you stop performing for others and start building for yourself, something irreversible happens inside you. A shift, a hardening, a transformation so quiet that even the people closest to you will not see it coming. They will wake up one day and wonder when you changed. And you will smile, because you will know exactly when it happened. Stay with me. What comes next will change how you see yourself forever. This video is not motivation. Motivation fades by Tuesday morning. This is something older, something colder, something that has survived wars, empires, and the collapse of civilizations. This is Stoicism. And today, we are going to talk about 3 things that most self-improvement channels are afraid to say out loud. Training your mind until it becomes unbreakable. Toughening your soul until pain becomes fuel. And winning in silence until your results become so loud that your words become unnecessary. Very few people understand what comes next. Because most people want a shortcut. They want the result without the reconstruction. But you cannot build an empire on a foundation you never repaired. The path we are walking today is not easy. But I promise you this, every word in this video is a brick. And by the end, you will have everything you need to start building. Let us begin. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He commanded the Roman Empire. He had every luxury, every resource, every privilege a human being could possess. And yet, every single morning, he woke up and wrote to himself, not to the world, not to his generals, not to history, to himself. He wrote things like, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He was not writing affirmations. He was training. Every single day, he was wrestling with his own mind before he ever faced the world. This is the first Stoic principle you need to understand. The mind is not your friend by default. The untrained mind is lazy, fearful, easily distracted, and desperate for approval. It chases comfort the way a child chases candy. It avoids discomfort the way most people avoid hard conversations. But the trained mind, the mind that has been tested, stretched, and deliberately conditioned, that mind operates differently. It does not panic when things fall apart. It does not collapse when people betray you. It does not shrink when life gets heavy. Epictetus, a man who was born into slavery and had nothing, taught one of the most powerful lessons in human history. Some things are in your control, and some things are not. That distinction alone, if you truly internalize it, will free you from more suffering than any therapy session ever could. Here is the question worth sitting with. How much of your daily suffering comes from fighting things you cannot control? Be honest with yourself. Let me tell you what the real war looks like. It does not happen on a battlefield. It does not happen in a boardroom or a gym or a competition. The real war happens at 2 a.m. when you cannot sleep because your mind is replaying every mistake you have ever made. It happens when someone you trusted walks away and you have to decide whether that breaks you or builds you. It happens in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when you ask yourself, is this even worth it? This is where most people fail. Not because they lacked talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lost the internal battle before they ever stepped into the external one. They let doubt become a residence instead of a visitor. They let fear make decisions that discipline should have made. If you are still watching, you are already ahead of most people. Most people clicked away 30 seconds ago, looking for something easier. But you stayed. That tells me something about who you are, or who you are becoming. The Stoics called this inner battle prohairesis, the faculty of choice. Every moment of every day, you are choosing. You are choosing whether to react or respond, whether to shrink or stand, whether to be shaped by your circumstances or to shape them. And the terrifying truth is this: most people make these choices unconsciously. They drift. They react. They let the world decide who they are. The question is, will you? In the year 1944, a man named Viktor Frankl was stripped of everything. His books, his career, his family. His name was replaced with a number in a Nazi concentration camp. Every external reason to keep living had been systematically destroyed. But inside that darkness, Frankl discovered something that no guard could confiscate. He realized that between every stimulus and every response, there is a space. And in that space lives human freedom. The freedom to choose your attitude. The freedom to assign meaning. The freedom to decide who you will be in spite of what is happening to you. He survived. He went on to write one of the most profound books in human history, Man's Search for Meaning. And the lesson he carried out of that darkness was not about suffering. It was about the unconquerable nature of a trained, purposeful mind. Seneca echoed this centuries earlier when he wrote, "It is not that I am brave, it is that I know what is worth fearing." This is the soul of Stoicism. Not the absence of pain, not the pretense of indifference, but the quiet, unshakable decision to keep going, because your purpose is greater than your discomfort. Most viewers will miss this lesson. Write it down. Here's the problem nobody wants to talk about. We are living in the most distracted era in human history. You have access to more information than any emperor, philosopher, or genius who ever lived. And yet, you are more confused, more anxious, and more uncertain about your own identity than ever before. Why? Because information without implementation creates paralysis. Because consumption without reflection creates noise. Because you are spending hours every day absorbing other people's lives, other people's opinions, other people's highlight reels, and somewhere in that process, you lost the thread back to yourself. Social media sold you a version of success that is loud, visible, and instantly validated. It taught you that if people are not watching, it is not real. If people are not commenting, it does not matter. If people are not impressed, you have not arrived. And this is the poison. Because real growth is invisible. Real strength is quiet. Real transformation happens in the moments no one sees, in the decisions no one applauds, in the mornings when you choose discipline over comfort for the 300th day in a row with zero audience. James Clear wrote in Atomic Habits that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Think about that. Every time you stayed silent when gossip was calling your name, a vote. Every time you trained when you were tired, a vote. Every time you chose your mission over your mood, a vote. Can you relate to this feeling, knowing exactly what you should do, but fighting a version of yourself that resists it every single day? So how do you actually train your mind? Not theoretically, not philosophically, practically, in your real life, with your real struggles, starting today. Step 1. Create a non-negotiable morning anchor. Not a 2-hour ritual. Just 5 minutes of stillness before your phone touches your hand. In those 5 minutes, ask yourself one question. Who do I choose to be today? Not what do I need to do? Who do I choose to be? This one question, asked daily with sincerity, will begin rewiring the identity you operate from. Step 2. Embrace voluntary discomfort. The Stoics practiced this deliberately. They would sometimes eat simple food, wear rough clothing, or sit in the cold, not because they had to, but because they wanted to know they could. Because comfort is the enemy of capability. Every time you choose something hard when something easy was available, you are making a deposit into your mental toughness account. Step 3. End your day with an honest audit. Seneca did this every night. He would ask himself, where did I fall short today? Where did I do well? What needs to change? Not with self-loathing, with curiosity, with the calm determination of a craftsman who is always refining his work. Step 4. Protect your attention like it is your most valuable currency, because it is. What you consistently give your attention to becomes your reality. If you feed your mind chaos, you will think chaotically. If you feed it clarity and purpose, you will move with clarity and purpose. Very few people actually apply all 4 of these simultaneously. Those who do, change everything. Now we arrive at the part most people are not ready to hear. Winning in silence is not about being secretive. It is not about arrogance. It is not about cutting people off or becoming cold. It is about understanding one profound truth: your energy is finite. Every time you announce a goal before you achieve it, your brain receives a small dopamine reward as if you already accomplished it. The announcement becomes the achievement for the undisciplined mind. And so the work never fully happens because the emotional reward was already collected. Silence protects the seed before it becomes a tree. You do not show people the seed. You show them the fruit. The silent success framework works like this. First, set your goal privately and commit to it with the same seriousness you would give to a legal contract with yourself. Second, remove all external performance. Stop working for comments, approval, and opinions. Start working for the version of yourself you are building toward. Third, let your results be your announcement. When Marcus Aurelius was building his internal philosophy, he never published it. The meditations were his private journals, never meant for the world. And yet they became one of the most read philosophical texts in all of history. Because the work done in private always outlasts the performance done in public. Here is your reflection. How much of your current effort is genuinely for your growth? And how much is for an audience, real or imagined? Everything we have discussed brings us to the most important transformation of all, the rebuilding of your identity from the inside out. You cannot sustain discipline with willpower alone. Willpower is a resource that depletes. Identity is a structure that sustains. The question is never, how do I stay motivated? The question is, who am I becoming, and does my daily behavior match that person? If you see yourself as someone who gives up when things get difficult, you will find reasons to give up. If you see yourself as someone who finds a way regardless, you will find a way regardless. The identity comes first. The behavior follows. This is not self-deception. This is self-architecture. You are not lying to yourself about who you are. You are deliberately constructing who you are becoming. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." You are allowed to decide who you are. You are allowed to discard the version of yourself that was built by fear, by other people's expectations, by years of playing small. That version served its purpose. But it is not who you are choosing to be anymore. The rebuild begins with one decision made quietly, seriously, and completely. I am no longer who I was. I am becoming who I am meant to be. Before we go further, I want you to stop. Not scroll. Not skip. Stop and answer these honestly, even if only to yourself. 1. Are you currently disciplined in private, or only accountable when someone is watching? 2. Are you feeding your mind content that sharpens you, or content that simply entertains you? 3. When was the last time you chose discomfort deliberately because you knew it would make you stronger? 4. Are your daily habits aligned with the identity you claim to be building, or are they aligned with who you used to be? 5. Are you winning in silence, or are you still waiting for external permission to believe in your own progress? There are no correct answers to perform here. This is between you and the person you see in the mirror. The Stoics believed that the unexamined life produces nothing worth living for. So examine it, without mercy, without excuse, with total honesty. I want to speak directly to you now. Not the version of you that is performing, not the version that curates itself for others, the version that lies awake wondering if it will ever be enough. You have been carrying things nobody knows about, disappointments you smiled through, setbacks you absorbed quietly, versions of yourself you had to grieve in order to grow. And you kept going, even when the results were not showing, even when the people around you did not understand, even when your own mind told you to stop. That persistence, that is not nothing. That is everything. That is the raw material of a life built on character rather than circumstance. But here is what I need you to understand. The hardness you are developing right now is not damage. It is armor. The silence you are sitting in right now is not emptiness. It is preparation. The slowness of your progress right now is not failure. It is the depth of your foundation being laid correctly. The oak does not apologize for how long it takes to become an oak. The mountain does not explain itself to the wind. And you do not owe anyone an explanation for the pace of your becoming. You owe them only the result. And that is coming. Slowly, quietly, and with absolute certainty, it is coming. Marcus Aurelius, on his deathbed, is said to have turned to his guards and whispered, "Weep not for me. Think rather of the pestilence of men's brains, and how many have already left, and will leave without ever having lived." He did not fear death. He feared an unlived life. He feared the tragedy of potential that remained forever potential. He feared waking up one day, or not waking up, having never truly fought for the person he was capable of becoming. That is the Stoic terror. Not pain, not loss, not failure. The wasted self. The version of you that could have existed, but never did because fear was louder than purpose. Comfort was easier than discipline, and the audience was more important than the work. You have a choice. You have always had a choice. And you are making it right now in every second you keep watching, in every thought you allow to stay, in every decision you make after this video ends. This is the moment. Not tomorrow morning. Not after one more video. Not after things calm down or life gets easier. Right now. Decide that your mind will be trained every day, without exception, without audience. Decide that your soul will be toughened through every loss, every betrayal, every dark season. Decide that your victory will be silent, built in the dark, revealed in the light, earned without apology. The world does not need more noise. It needs more people who have done the deep, quiet, unglamorous work of becoming unbreakable. Be one of them. Starting today. If this video moved something inside you, subscribe to Anonymous Achiever, because we build here, quietly and consistently. Like this video if you are committed to winning in silence. And comment below, "I train in silence." Let me know you are serious. Your transformation starts right now.